A pleasant good morning to you from East Tennessee. Welcome into the 615 Preps Scoreboard. Happy Saturday, everybody. Chris Brooks with you again after Week 2's games are over. Scott, Burton, and Cam Reid join me this morning to go over all the scores from the area from Thursday and Friday night. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Scott, you get your coffee in?
Yes, I do. Today it is the Evansville Zoo.
The Evansville Zoo. All right.
Yeah, they have one.
Cam, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Up and at 'em to watch some college football today after the scoreboard show.
Yep, the Scoreboard Show presented as always by Fifth Year Technology Solutions. We will hear from them in just a bit. Without further ado, we've got scores to tell you about. Let's go ahead and get to them. Starting with Thursday night action over at Ravenwood, and the Raptors bounced back after their opening week loss to NBA in a big way, 56-3 over BGA. And Ravenwood will begin region play next week at Franklin, while BGA hosts CPA in week 3. DCA bounces back after their week 1 loss, 51-6 over Ezo Harding. The Wildcats now 1-1 and travel to Friendship Christian for a pretty big Division II single leg game in week number 3. White House edged Greenbrier 20-18. The Blue Devils now get their first win of the year. They're at Cheatham County next week. Greenbrier travels to Glencliff as the Bobcats are 0-2. Harpeth a 40-0 victory over Cheatham County on the road. The Indians now 2-0 for the first time since 2017. Will open region play with Whites Creek at home next week. Cheatham County hosting the Blue Devils of White House, as we just said moments ago. Our fans' game of the week from Thursday night was Portland over Liberty Creek 49-14. We'll get these highlights to you actually later on in this show. Big win for the Panthers. Liberty Creek's first loss in school history after winning over Jackson Central Mary in week 1. As we said, we'll get to those highlights here in just a little bit. We're going to go through some scores first. More Thursday night action. Good Pasture 14, Nashville Christian 12. Cougars now 2-0. They're at Lipscomb Academy to open region play in week 3. Nashville Christian 0-2 at home against BGA. Smyrna 33, Rockville 12. The Bulldogs 2-0, and they get Hillsborough at home in week 3. Rockville drops to 1-1. Region play for them opens at home against Siegel next week. Hunters Lane 33, Sycamore 7. The Warriors 2-0 for the first time since 2009. And they're at Mount Juliet next week to open region play, while Sycamore drops to 0-2, and they'll travel to Waverly in week 3. On to Friday's scores. Father Ryan dodged a bullet late, and Brentwood missed a field goal that would have tied it 10-7. The Fighting Irish win over the Bruins. Father Ryan's first win of the year. The Bishop's Cup is next for them against Pope Prep. Brentwood travels to Summit to open region play next week. Cane Ridge, a region game in week 2, and a big win for the Ravens, 61-6 at Antioch. Cane Ridge has McGavick at home next week. Antioch 0-2, traveling to Laverne. Brentwood Academy, 28-17 winners over CPA, and the Eagles will host Briarcrest Christian next week at 1-1. CPA now 1-1. They're traveling to BGA to open region play next week. I think I had BGA against Nashville Christian. That's incorrect. My apologies for that. Springfield 34, Clarksville nothing. The Yellow Jackets 2-0. They've got Northeast next week. And Clarksville 0-2, traveling to Rossview. DeKalb County 17, Smith County 14. They get win in Carthage. Tigers now 2-0. They've got Macon County in region play next week. That is our Spotlight Series game on Thursday night, by the way. Smith County travels to Maplewood to open its region schedule. East Robertson 41, White House Heritage 19. Indians now at 1-1. They travel to Trousdale County next week for a key region opener. White House Heritage, a non-region game out of state at Franklin Simpson in Kentucky in week 3. Fairview edges Creekwood 13-7. Yellow Jackets now 1-1. They travel to Stewart County next week. Creekwood is 1-1 and hosting Marshall County in its region opener. Franklin huddled around for a while, but Page wins 28-17. The Patriots now 2-0 and traveling to Spring Hill. Franklin gets Ravenwood in its region opener next week. Blackman's offense gets on track. What do you know? 42-33 Blaze over Gallatin. Gallatin hung around this game for a while as well and really impressed some people, so it's be interesting to see going forward how the Green Wave handled things against West Creek and the rest of region play. Blackman now travels to Riverdale for the backyard brawl in week number 3. Whites Creek 30, Glencliff 14. The Cobras 1-1. They've got Harpeth next week. Glencliff 0-2 and has Greenbrier in region opener next week. Guys, we'll pause for a moment. I want to come back to you. Some of these scores that you've seen so far, any surprises stand out to you?
For me, it was the Father Ryan defense. Actually, they held Brentwood to 1 yard rushing in that 10-7 win. And last week Isaac Hayes was big. He was 0 for 4 on field goals this week, but I have no idea how far they were. So I mean, they could have been way out of his range. But that 1 yard rushing really stood out to me as the difference maker in that Father Ryan game.
Yeah, just a couple things. Ravenwood come out and made a statement that they are who we thought they were after a tough week in week 1 against NBA. Then moving on to the Gallatin Blackman game, Blackman jumped up 28 to 8 in that game. Gallatin come all the way back to make it a 2-point game just a couple times. Just too much offense for the Blaze in that one.
And in that game, my understanding is that Zakarian Brinkley was injured, didn't play much of the second half. So they moved they moved their tailback to fullback. Also understand that Blackman had like 3 of 4 successful onside kick attempts.
Wow.
That kept Blackman on the offensive.
And then one last one is Brentwood Academy, huge win over CPA at home. Deuce Scott over 250 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns. They really took it physically to CPA and was able to control that game.
Well, let's see. Another one might have been that big border battle with Macon County and Westmoreland. That one that was tight. Cam, that was really tight. They had I think 80 yard held Macon County 80 yards on the ground. The difference was really that 93-yard kickoff return by Gabe Borders.
Yeah, there was a series. I was listening to that game on the radio while I had 3 other games streaming on all my devices. But that game changed on a series of about 4 plays, and they just happened to go back to back to back to back. Westmoreland gets a key turnover. They score to tie it up. The ensuing kickoff was Macon returns it 93 yards for a touchdown. And then the ensuing kickoff, Westmoreland fumbles it back to Macon. So that game changed on just a few plays, but Westmoreland had a couple chances late in that game. Wound up getting it seemed like they were out of chances and wound up getting a fumble recovery with about 1.5 minutes to go. Come down to a 4th and 15. They come up about 2 yards short of a first down. Wind up losing that one 20-15 on the Ridge against their rival Macon County. Another score we saw there was DeKalb County over Smith County. That was I believe they won that one at the end of regulation on a field goal.
Yes.
It was like a 40-yarder, something like that. And he nailed it. It's a huge win for DeKalb heading into region play against those Macon County Tigers next week.
Yeah, it was a last-second field goal that was a last-second field goal that won it. We knew that game was going to be tight. We knew it was going to be difficult. I think I'll pat myself on the back. I think I'm the only one who picked it. So, but I mean, that's how close those teams were. Hey, it looks like we may have something back as we whiff through the. There we go. And
yeah, sorry about that, folks. Apparently, StreamYard having some issues this morning, and it kicked me right off. So, apologize for that. We'll go back through some scores here in just a moment.
Cam and I treaded water while you were gone.
Well done, guys. Absolutely well done. So,
yeah, we're about to get into. Yeah, we're about to get into. I don't know if Chris has hit hit those establishments up there in Gatlinburg this this early.
There were a few establishments that have been hit here in Gatlinburg, but maybe not the ones that we want to talk about here. One we do want to talk about, though, is your technology concepts. Let's hear from our sponsor of the Scoreboard Show now.
In today's business world, it can be expensive to maintain a staff of experienced and knowledgeable IT personnel, especially for a small or medium-sized business. You don't have the time to monitor your own systems or stay up on the latest cybersecurity or technology solutions while trying to service your customers. That's why you should contact Fifth Gear Technology Concepts. Fifth Gear is an award-winning managed service provider that can manage your business needs with local and responsive IT support services. Fifth Gear specializes in fully managed or co-managed IT support, cybersecurity, cloud solutions, and superior customer care that can fit your budget. Call today to learn more at 615-606-3121 or visit us at fifthgearconcepts.com. Fifth Gear Technology Concepts, the latest insights and information in the world of IT.
Certainly want to thank Fifth Gear Technology Concepts for their sponsorship of the Scoreboard Show. Let's continue on with some more scores. Grace Christian, 35-15 winners over Middle Tennessee Christian. The Lions are 2-0, and they've got Collinwood next week at home. MTCS travels to Clarksville Academy for a game in week number 3. McGavock 2-0 for the first time since 2017. The Raiders 47-14 winners at home against Hillwood. McGavock will play Cane Ridge next week in a game that may have quite a bit more intrigue than we might first have thought. The Raiders have been off to a good start, and Cane Ridge we know has been off to a good start, so that one should be pretty interesting in that region opener for McGavock. It'll be Cane Ridge's second region game of the season.
Yeah, huge test for the Raiders.
Yep. Green Hill, big bounce back win, 49-0 over Kenwood. The Hawks 1-1, and they get Wilson Central at home next week. Kenwood at home against Henry County in its region opener. Siegel is 2-0. They're 14-6 winners over Laverne. The Stars defense has done the job, giving up 6 points in the first couple of weeks. So Siegel 2-0. They were 2-0 last year as well, but they wound up finishing 4-6. So we'll see if the Stars can improve upon 2021's finish. Starting next week when they go to Rockville to open region play. Laverne at home against Antioch. Northeast 38-7 winners over Montgomery Central. The Eagles improved to 1-1 as they travel to Springfield in week number 3. Montgomery Central at home against Lawrence County as the Indians drop to 1-1 after the loss. Friendship Christian, do not adjust your screen. That is a correct score, 69-0. The Commanders had this one on lock from the get-go. It was 45-0 very early in the second quarter, and they controlled things from the get-go against Mount Juliet Christian. They're 2-0, and they get DCA at home next week. And Mount Juliet Christian goes to Webb School for their season, for the region opener. NBA 49-6 winners over Pearl Cohn. And let's see if we've got those highlights ready to go. That was our spotlight game of the week as well. And I do not have those pulled up, so I'm going to get 1 second, folks, to do that. Scott, you were over there. Tell me a little bit about what you saw last night from NBA.
Well, truthfully, from what we see of NBA, they are definitely the real deal. Their defense is outstanding. They had what is new maybe about NBA that we haven't seen in the past is the actual speed of their defense and the size. Gabe Fisher up front, Eric George up front. They force teams to the edge, and their linebackers. They have a linebacker, 36. I think it's Browning Trainer. Actually was able to get to the edge a lot and contain those very fast Pearl Cohn backs and receivers. Just defensively, Pearl never did get it going. Offensively, Pearl never could get it going against NBA. They had one drive. They started to see some success as they started to speed up their offense in the second quarter. They went to a not quite a no huddle, but a very up tempo offense that threw NBA off for a little bit and allowed the Firebirds to move the ball. But in the end, it was just too much defense. And then, of course, the offense there. Marcel Reed, another solid night, 8 of 14, 122, 2 TDs. The backbreaker, even Coach Uverard commented that the backbreaker probably was that on 4th down in Firebird territory, with no time on the clock, Marcel Reed finds Claiborne Richards in the end zone on a pass that only Richards could get to, and that put him up 4 scores, and that was probably the backbreaker right there.
Okay, well, he's got the highlights loaded. Let's go through those in just a moment, shall we? Let's put it up here. Hutton Durrett gets us started. 18-yard touchdown pass from Marcel Reed. NBA on the board, 7-0 with 6:46 left in the first quarter. And it was NBA pretty much from there as Marcel Reed kind of takes it over with his legs in this next play after a wild celebration. Reed dancing through the Pearl Cohn defense and into the end zone. This one from 33 yards away. 10-0 or 14-0 NBA. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Jonathan Moore had another big night for the Big Red. As the first of 3 touchdown runs is here. This one 15 yards out. 2:04 left in the second. It's 21-0 NBA. And Scott, as you just described, right before the end of the half, you hear the horn. You see the touchdown. It's Claiborne Richards back of the end zone. 28-0 NBA at the half. Jonathan Moore again, this time a short TD run for the Big Red. 35-0. Less than a little over a minute into the third quarter. Pearl Cohn does get on the board with a Devontae Mayberry scored from a yard out. This one's actually Jonathan Moore again. Moore had 3 touchdown runs on the evening for the Big Red. Brooklyn Davis into the end zone for the final points for the Big Red. Devontae Mayberry had a 1-yard TD run for Pearl Cohn. 49-6 the final in that one. And let's talk with Gabe Fisher.
Gabe, you guys pretty much shut down their offense. What was it that you guys worked on this week to get ready for Pearl?
So funny thing is, Coach Chauvin, our defensive coordinator, he had us from Monday to Friday. He made little Google Forms quizzes on what play they'd be running based on their formation. So we get graded on that, and we get a new one if we messed up in practice. So we were just quizzes all week long. I think I have the record of times of taking it, 22, I think, times, until I finally got it right. Just that, and all week we just preached. Like, we got to tackle, because last game we weren't the best tackling. We just got to tackle, play like we're 1-3 like last year. Mentality we got to play with every single time. Well, you just running through people's faces.
Yeah, you guys did a good job of shutting down that running game and getting after their quarterback.
Yes, sir.
What was there anything that it looked like they had sped up tempo in the second quarter, and it kind of threw you guys off just a little bit?
Yeah, we knew they would do something like that, but I think it was when they'd get a big play, they'd go right back up to the ball. So I think that's one thing to work for McCauley, because they're probably going to try the same thing. But they threw, I think, everything they had at us, and I think we were just prepared all week long.
But talk to me about your defensive backfield. They did a good job of shutting down the receivers and such.
Mm-hmm. So we got corners, Alan Young, Caden Maddox. They were just great all night long. I mean, they were locked down all night long. And then we got safeties, Payne Daniel, Hunter Johnson. They were just freaking, they'll fly to the ball. Like, they tackle like linebackers. And I feel most secure with them behind me. If somebody missed a tackle up front, I know they got me.
You guys are 2-0.
Yes, sir.
Going into McCauley.
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling about your team this year?
I feel like we can really prove something this year. Especially last year, we made it all the way, and we have a ton of returning starters. So I think we just got to keep staying hungry, stay humble, and I think we're going to have a good year.
Next up,
Here with
Jonathan Moore.
Moore coming off his 3-touchdown performance in the 49-6 victory over Pearl Cohn. Jonathan, it seemed like your offense took a little bit of time to get started. What got you guys rolling?
Just believing each other, trusting each other, just having each other back, just doing our role, playing our part, not trying to overcompensate for the next man, trusting our teammates, and just that's how we got it done.
Your offensive line, tell me about them, because it really looked like after a while they began to assert themselves and open holes.
Yeah, it took a minute, like you said, but they came together as a family like we always did. We bonded a lot over the summer. They believed in each other. They started trusting each other. They trusted me. I trusted them, and we just got the job done tonight.
Yeah, how about your defense? Shutting down almost completely shutting out a Pearl Cohn team that is pretty explosive.
Yeah, it was amazing. Both the D-line, linebackers, safeties, corners, all of them. There's some dogs. I couldn't do it without them. They push us every day in practice, man. They get the offense better every day. I couldn't do it without them.
You're having a pretty big year running. Is there anything you did in the off season, or anything that you've done that got you focused? Because you're having very successful first 2 games.
I've just been busting my tail a lot, man. I know it's my last year. I just want to prove everybody wrong. Everybody ever doubted me. I just want to show them that I can do it. I can run the rock.
Are y'all the team to beat?
I believe so, but we got to keep proving it every night, every day, every week. We got McCallie next. We got a big game ahead too, and on the road. So we got to stay prepared for that. Come back Sunday, get ready to work.
Well, congratulations on the win. Enjoy your night, and good luck next.
2 very solid performances for Jonathan Moore in the first 2 weeks of the season. Yeah, good to hear from him, and they obviously have the right mindset so far about how they're going to attack McCallie. A big one next week for them. Marty Uverard is next. Let's hear from him.
Coach, big win tonight over Pearl Cohn. Going into this week, what did you guys prepare for? Because it seemed like you had the answers for the most part.
Well, we knew they were a good football team, a lot of size, a lot of speed, and last 2 years hadn't gone real well for us. But our guys come out from the beginning. We were able to get up on them early, and I think one of the big plays of the game was scoring right at halftime, kind of going up 28-0. Might have took a little sting out of them a little bit, but really proud of our defense. That's a good football team. They're going to win a lot of games the rest of the season, and we're just happy to come away with a win and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, your defense, you talked about your defense. They did a really good job shutting down and actually showing speed on the edges, keeping them contained for the most part.
Yeah, I think that's our MO is our kids play hard, and that's all you can ask for. We might not be the biggest or the fastest, but our kids play hard, and that's all you can ask for.
Gabe Fisher told me that you guys had a unique coaching strategy this week on tendencies.
Yeah, we did. Coach Chauvin is our defensive coordinator. Him and the defensive staff do a tremendous job, and gave them a really good scouting report on Pearl Cohn, and really helped them line up right and able to execute against some things that we were able to see on film.
Let me ask you about Jonathan Moore and his development.
Yeah.
How has he progressed? Is this something that you've always seen, or is this?
Well, he's probably the hardest worker on the team, and he played a little bit last year behind Rhett Hales, who was a really good running back for us, but he's got his shot this year, and he's taking advantage of it. He's just a tremendous kid, and he makes the offensive guys during practice. There's a light in the huddle. Him and our quarterback Marcel, they have that charisma, and everybody loves Jonathan just because he's such a great kid.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, you got a tough game coming up against McCallie. What do you take from this moving forward?
Well, I mean, you're 2-0, but then you look at it, you're 0-0 because it's one game at a time, going on the road to one of the best football teams in the state of Tennessee. So it's going to be a big challenge for us, but our guys will get ready and get excited, and hopefully we'll go out and have a good showing.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, congratulations. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it, and good luck next week against McCallie.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey.
Pearl Cohn's 0-2 for the first time since 2015, but let's not get that confused with anything else because they've played 2 really tough teams.
They have.
Yeah, that's it's. I understand that some people may be frustrated, but again, Cane Ridge is not your ordinary offense, and NBA is just maybe one of the best teams in the state.
I just want to mention one thing about what Gabe Fisher said there in his interview. Running through people's faces is what he says. And so far, that's what they've done. McCallie better be ready for a tough physical football game next Friday night.
Yep, rematch of the state title game from a year ago, and you can best believe NBA is out for some blood in this one. So we'll be interested to see how they tackle that one on the road at McCallie. Pearl Cohn will get Hillwood in its region opener next week and try to bounce back and get their first win of the season. On with the scores. Maplewood 46, Republic 6. The Panthers wanted 1. They'll open with Smith County region play next week. Republic is at Ezel Harding. Riverdale on the road, a 31-7 winner at Rossview. The backyard brawl is up next for the Warriors. They've got Blackman coming in to Riverdale next week. Rossview will host Clarksville in their region opener. Speaking of region game, Station Camp gets a region opening win over Hillsboro 45-23. The Bison now 2-0, and they've got White County coming in to Gallatin next week. Hillsboro 0-2. They're traveling to Smyrna in non-region competition. East Nashville 2-0, a 42-7 winner over Stewart's Creek. The Eagles get Stratford at home next week. Stewart's Creek traveling to Oakland for region opener after falling to 0-2. Watertown 28, Gordonsville 13. Bounce back for the Purple Tigers after a loss last week to Fayetteville. Gordonsville drops to 0-2. Have a non-region game against Oliver Springs next week in week number 3. 28-13 West Creek over Northwest. The Coyotes now 1-1. They'll travel to Gallatin for their region opener. Northwest 1-1. They're at Portland in week number 3. Macon County 2-0, 20-15 winners over Westmoreland. Cam, we said this in the Mid-State 48, first to 20 wins.
We did, and it came down to a few fourth down opportunities and a couple turnovers. We mentioned earlier in the show that this game really changed on 4 consecutive plays. Macon County turns the ball over. Westmoreland scores to tie it at 13 at that moment. The ensuing kickoff, Gay Borders takes it 93 yards to the house to put Macon back up 20-13. Westmoreland adds a safety later on, but the ensuing kickoff after Borders returned it 93 yards for a touchdown, Westmoreland fumbled it back to Macon, and they controlled most of that second half on the clock on time of possession. Came down to a fourth down opportunity with under a minute to go, 4th and 13 or 14, and they came up about 2 yards short. A really good win for Macon County at home, but this Westmoreland team is still yet to answer our question. We know they're there on the defense side of the ball, but 14 points last week, 15 points this week. That's not gonna win the region like some people think that they can.
Yeah.
We'll get
it. Just
Sorry,
oh no, it's just to follow up. Cam, you're exactly right. They didn't answer the question there. They're held to 84 yards total offense, 36 rushing, 48 yards passing, and of that was a long 37 yards from Eden to Stafford. So Macon County's defense did a good job of shutting down the Westmoreland Eagle offense.
Both these teams go into Thursday night action next week in their region openers. Westmoreland will host Watertown. Cam, I believe you're planning on being at that game. I will be over to DeKalb County for the Macon County Watertown game, or Macon County DeKalb County game, excuse me, as our Spotlight Series game on Thursday.
Tigers game.
This is true. Yeah, Scott, good point. Tigers are going to win that one regardless. We just don't know which ones. So those games on Thursday night are going to be key games for each of those teams. Continuing on with some scores, Lebanon 43, Wilson Central 3. And Wilson Central usually gives Lebanon problems. They did not on Friday night as the Blue Devils improved to 2-0. They open region play at home against Cookeville next week. Jalen Abston, a big night, I understand.
Yeah, he had, let me find it right here. Abston was 6 of 11 passing, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 carries for 23 more yards and another touchdown, so 3 total touchdowns for Abston. But Anthony Crowell is what makes this Lebanon team go. I mean, he's the guy that every team has a scheme against on the defensive side of the ball, and especially on special teams, as he returns a kickoff again for a touchdown for the second straight week. Guys, just kick it out of bounds. Don't kick it to him.
Pretty good advice for most special teams units there. Before we get to the out-of-town scores, let's go back to Thursday night and the Liberty Creek Portland game. We were out there for that one. We'll pull that video up here just a moment and show you those highlights. Scott, Cam, both of you were out there for that one. Tell me a little bit about what Portland was able to do and how they were able to get that win.
Well, truthfully, this is a established senior-laden team in Portland with a lot of size, a lot of strength, and you could really see a difference in the lines. Liberty Creek, much smaller in certain areas. The skill position areas, they look like they match up fairly well, but the interior lines, you can see a definite difference, and it made a difference in the game because Portland was able to assert their will running the ball. They were able to hold Liberty Creek to just negligible yardage. It really was a young team that you can see, a new team that is 70% freshmen and sophomores. It really was a rough go of it for Liberty Creek.
Yeah, I mean, one word to describe this game was physicality. Portland took it to the Wolves from the opening kickoff. Portland definitely, you could tell that they had a sense of urgency early in the game to get off on a good start and to overcome the mistakes that they made in week one that led to their loss at Westmoreland.
Yeah, we'll pull these videos up and let you guys see these highlights. We'll keep talking about it, guys. Early TD from Portland there. That was kind of the MO early and often for them, getting the running game going.
Yeah, let's not take anything away from the three-headed monster that is the Portland running game with Piro, Dallin, and right there making the big catch there, number 3.
Freddie Paxton.
Yeah, thank you, Freddie Paxton. They have the backs to compete with anybody. It was just in this game, they were able to, see the hole, take the hole. Really a dominating performance by Portland.
TD here for Brian Rager for Liberty Creek to get them on the board. Also had a 2-point conversion. I think he had, correct me if I'm wrong, so he had both TDs for Liberty Creek.
He had one pass and one rushing.
One pass and one rushing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, thank you, Cam. I had a disruption in the file storage. But yeah, he definitely, and let me tell you, he's a trooper too because he had to run for his life a lot, and he's still he's one of the leaders of the team, and you can tell that he's really got the drive to make that team's going to be good, but it's just going to be a few years before they get there.
Yeah.
You heard that hit on that one touchdown. My goodness.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is Braylon Dallin. I mean, that's the way he runs the ball every time that he gets the football.
Yeah. And it's not going to, they're going to be that way against teams that aren't Liberty Creek. They're going to be, they're physical. Their line is very, very physical.
And, if it wasn't for a tough region, I really think this Portland team could make some noise in 5A. If they got a tough draw in that region, but with Henry County and Springfield, but the Panthers are not going to be easy out.
No, not at all.
Yep. Let's hear from Jalen Perro after that game at Liberty Creek.
Perro after the very big win for your program, 49-14 over Liberty Creek. You had a big night. Talk to me about what you guys came in after last week's difficulties against Westmoreland.
So after last week's difficulty, we just bounced back at the team. We just saw the loss as a lesson. We just came back this week. Defense played amazing. O-line did amazing. Holes were there all night. Offense did great.
I was going to say, it seemed like after just some initial issues, your offensive line was able to assert itself and really open up some holes for you and for your other running backs. What was it about their defense that you felt like you could exploit?
Just linebackers getting taken out by the guards, tackles. There was really nobody there, and safety was the only one there, and it's a one-on-one. I'll take the one-on-one all day.
Yeah, and you broke a couple of long ones. You had a big 54-yard run. Really was kind of a backbreaker for them. Walk me through that play, if you would.
Okay, so it's a counter, so I'm taking a counter step, misdirection. And then we got to pull and tackle, take out the linebacker, and again, one-on-one with the safety. And I'll take that all day. That's what I like. And then I just beat the safety, and I'm gone.
How big is it getting the win tonight at home on your home opener?
Amazing. It's amazing. It's a great feeling because we needed this. I think we needed this after last week, especially. Last week was rough, and it's a great win for the team.
Outstanding. Well, Jalen, appreciate it. I know you got school tomorrow, so I'll let you get out of here and celebrate. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll hear from Portland head coach Wes Emmett in just a moment. Yeah, got to like that Portland three-headed monster going in the region play. And they had a tough loss to Westmoreland last week, but they seem like the team that could be pretty well improved in 2022.
Yeah, and they're going to be a team that nobody wants to see later in the season, as you'll hear. I think he mentions it in the interview here, but Portland was a wing T team the last few years with that three-headed monster. This year going spreading it out and really trying to use their backs' athleticism to run off tackle. That offense is just going to get better as the season goes on.
There's Wes Emmett on that win for Portland.
Here with Coach Wes Emmett after his team's win 49-14 over Liberty Creek. Coach, talk to me about the win tonight and coming in this game after last week's loss to Westmoreland. What your guys' focus was?
Well, the biggest thing was keeping our composure, taking care of little things. We did some things this week to challenge and maintenance a few of the things that gave us issues last week. And we also we wanted to set the tone with what we did. We opted not to throw a lot. We wanted to reestablish our run. And we're tickled when we get a 7-yard gain. So if we get a 15 or a 17, we consider that gravy. And, we had a good preseason running the ball. And then we just needed to reestablish that tonight. And, of course, we had a few problems in the second half. We've got to address those. Got a little sloppy. But I think part of it is we came out so high. Our boys did such a tremendous job. I thought our leaders did a good job of driving the focus and maintaining the things that we as coaches want them to do. And instead of us having to say it, they said it most of the time. They took the initiative all through pregame, bus trip, everything. And I think, maybe we were a little high. And then after halftime, we might have come out a little low. And but I've got all the confidence in the world. That's just the next thing our team will fix.
You were able to run the ball very effectively. Let's talk about your lines, both offensive and defensively. They both showed up tonight, and you did a great job shutting down their offense, and then your line opened up holes for your running backs.
Yeah, our offensive line is very aggressive, and that was part of the reason we had the flinches last week. They come to play every down. A couple of things gave them a little problem, but we've worked on it this week. And when Liberty Creek did similar things or the same thing tonight, we picked right up on it. And then our backs are really good at finding the holes. And then we've got opportunistic backs too. When given the opportunity, they find a way to make more out of it. And we were tickled with them. As far as defense, I've been pleased with defense all preseason, all season, and our defensive line is very good. Along with I think our secondary is very good. We've got great linebackers that floated the ball, and I think they did a great job tonight. And they picked one. They read it really well. Braden would probably tell you he would have taken the other option if he had it to do again. And when they scored down there, they just had a good choice of plays down there. It wasn't for lack of our defense being in position. They called the right play at the right time. So hats off to them.
Now, you talked about your running backs. Let's see, Jalen Perro had 188 yards on 13 carries. Big night for him, but it really was, you'd really spread it out. You kind of have a three-headed monster back there.
Yeah, and they were in the wing tee last year also, and we've kind of got we're really moving towards more of a conventional offense, but we've got some remnants of that, and I did it because those three had such a tremendous year. Jalen missed 2.5 games last year, and he had 770 yards. If he doesn't miss those 2.5 games, I'm pretty sure he hits 1,000. Braylon got his shoulder roughed up, towards the end of the year, and it cut down on his carries, and he had just under 900. And then Freddie did go over 1,000. So we look at it from a potential that's potentially 3 1,000-yard backs coming out of their junior year. So you've got to get them touches. You've got to give them opportunities to make plays. And they're all hard workers. They've all been playing together since the Pee Wee years, and they're best of buds. They don't mind blocking for one another. They don't mind carrying out a fake to help the other. And they found they recaptured their rhythm. Westmoreland did a good job of getting us out of our rhythm. We're a fast pace, no huddle, and we like a rhythm with what we do. And Westmoreland did a good job of getting us out of it. Tonight, we did a good job of recapturing it. But I also give credit to the boys. Just really the message we had for them, they received it. They took ownership, and this is their win tonight. And now we go prepare for Clarksville Northwest, and we're going to work real hard, putting a good game plan together and give them an opportunity to do the same thing, put them in the position to do the same thing next week.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Thank you so much for taking time with us. Good luck next week against Northwest.
Thank you.
That's a pretty good win for Portland. They're going to have a bit of a challenge later on in the year when they get into region play, but for them, it's big to get that home win and get that first one out under their belts.
What you saw there was a very tired man. He had been ill most of the week, and I think after that game, he was energized for that game, and then I think he was looking for a place to lay down.
Right.
But keep that name, Jalen Pirro, in the back of your mind. He's starting. He's starting to draw offers, and if they continue like this, they're going to keep coming.
Yep. Let's take a quick break and hear from Innovate Medical, and then we'll finish up the scoreboard after this. On to the rest of the scores with out-of-area games of interest. Columbia needs overtime to beat Dixon County 14-13 on Thursday night. Dixon County has lost back-to-back overtime games to start the season. They're 0-2 after that loss. Baylor knocks off Ensworth 35-17. Beach with a big win in Henry County 26-21. They get their first win of the year. Boyd Buchanan handles Davidson Academy 39-10. Gary Rankin's bunch comes up to Goodlettsville and takes care of the Bears. So an impressive win for Boyd Buchanan. They may be more of a player in Division II AA faster than some people may think because of Rankin's influence. Cannon County drops at 20-14 to Cascade. Eagleville 34-8 winners at Houston County. Nolensville 21, Giles County 14. McEwen drops Joe Burns 36-14. Centennial 2-0, 42-7 winners over Lincoln County. Oakland keeps their win streak alive, 56-33 over Madison Ridgeland from Mississippi. Pope Preps 2-0, 34-8 winners over Pure Youth Alliance. FRA 2-0 under Justin Geisinger, 35-0 winners over Silverdale. Hendersonville gets its first win of the year, 28-22 over South Warren, Kentucky. Summit, a shutout win over Spring Hill, 35-0. Red Bowling Springs, 28-27 winners over Tennessee Heat. Independence debuts its new turf, 34-0 winners over Treasement. Upperman 49, Trousdale County 8. This one's notable for one reason. Trousdale County is 0-2 for the first time since 1987.
Yeah, 87 was the last time that the Jackets didn't make the playoffs, too.
So a losing record for Trousdale County in its first two games. East Robertson comes in next week. Going to be a challenge for them to get on the winning track. Clarksville Academy 41-7 winners over Webb School. The Cougars now 2-0. And one game tonight, Lipscomb Academy in Alabama to take on Thompson in that one. That is a ESPNU broadcast, I believe, at 8 Eastern.
I believe that is right.
Yeah.
So make sure you check that one out. The Mustangs trying to improve to 2-0.
It's two top 30 teams in the United States right there going at it. So tune in and root on those Mustangs.
I'm going to pull my camera up for the first time this morning. That's about all the damage we can do. Apologize for the difficulties earlier this morning with the feed. StreamYard is going to hear from me, but that's it for us. For Cam Reid, for Scott Burton, I'm Chris Brooks. Thanks for joining into the 615 Prep Scoreboard. We will see you on the Mid-State 48 coming up Wednesday. And right back here, same time, Saturday morning for the Scoreboard Show to complete week number 3. Have a great weekend. We will talk to you soon, folks. Take care.